Chernobylite is an interesting game. It's a game that invokes mixed feelings. The presentation is amazing, the premise is intriguing, and it combines some of the best aspects of some of my favorite games. You get to explore the ruins of Chernobyl in depth, and you get to assemble your own ragtag team to help you gather supplies, survive, and help you find your wife. It's a game that will suck you in and keep you wanting to know what will happen next. But the irony is, after a few hours, you'll start to feel like you've done and seen everything that there is to see. In a game about rewriting history and about time traveling, there's a certain point where there's maybe a little tedium, but you'll be so invested in the story that you'll just have to see how the game ends. At a certain point, you'll almost feel obligated to complete it.
50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Drinker here, and today we are coming at you with this Chernobylite review. Really quickly though, please be sure to subscribe if you do enjoy the videos that I've been coming out with lately. I plan on coming out with a lot more, so definitely subscribe, turn on post notifications, and leave a like on the video as well if you do like it, because it does help the channel grow a ton. Also, comment down below telling me what other types of videos that you want to see from me in the future. So what is Chernobylite? Chernobylite is a science fiction survival horror RPG. It's set in a hyper-realistic 3D scanned wasteland of Chernobyl's exclusion zone. You'll take on the role of Igor, a physicist and ex-employee of the Chernobyl power plant, returning to the Pripyat to investigate the mysterious disappearance of his fiancée 30 years prior. Now, that's the description the developer uses, but let's delve a little deeper. So right away, the comparison that always gets made in this game is to the Stalker series. In fact, at first glance, basically every review on YouTube of this game has the word Stalker in its title. I never played the Stalker games personally, but I recognize the style. The similarities I immediately noticed were to the Fallout and Metro games. The gunplay was immediately familiar, as well as the dialogue choices with NPCs, environmental storytelling, base building. If you enjoy Fallout and Metro, at least on the surface, there's a chance that you'll enjoy this game too. A very nice and interesting touch as well is that you can actually play through the entire game voice acted in either English or Russian for true immersion. But what's the game about? Well, it's set at a time after the original accident in the prologue. You and your buddies are sneaking back into the power plant before you're ambushed by someone only referred to as the Black Stalker. He's like a scary badass dude who can seemingly hop through wormholes at will. You narrowly escape with your life and have to regroup. After this, you enter the main gameplay loop. You're going to start off at your base camp, assign you and your companions to different missions, whether it's scavenging for ammo, food, medical supplies, or just completing a story mission. The screen even shows the chance of success for your companions, so you can optimize accordingly. Normally, you'll have your companions go out and get supplies while you go complete a main story mission. You'll also scavenge for mechanical parts, electronic parts, herbs, and mushrooms to use as crafting items. When you return, you'll level up, learn new skills, and you'll need to disperse food rations and medicine as needed to keep your companions happy. Your story decisions also affect their happiness. If you piss them off too much, they leave. All in all, the base building aspects feel a lot like Fallout 4 or Fallout 76. The main priority in all this is recruiting a crew to go back to the power plant with. The plant is the key to finding out what happened to your fiancé. The recruiting missions usually involve you promising to help them, or paying them, or saving their asses, and getting them back to your base, and then including them in the main gameplay loop from there on. The system works well, however it can be a little let down by the NPCs in your crew. They have quirks, but it's more manic and drug-addled than super deep. Chernobylite's true strength is that it's filled with decisions that matter more than they may seem on the surface. Generally, when you hear this, that means there's one or two key decisions in a game that give alternate endings, and the game not so subtly lets you know about it, but that's really not the case in Chernobylite. Many things matter, and you often don't find that out until much later. Your decisions truly have consequences. The game even gives you the occasional opportunity to change those decisions. You'll use Chernobylite, which is an actual resource in the game, to go back and make a new choice. This adds to that time traveling element and adds even more depth to the story. Due to the time traveling, decision consequence, mutants, Black Stalker, the story can be a bit of a mind acid trip. The narrative is extremely compelling, but the weirdness of everything combined can be a little hard to follow and could definitely turn off some people. You have a pulse scanner that highlights key resources that are basically invisible otherwise unless you're right next to them. There's random encounters that you'll come across. You'll even run into a guy who's always squatting and talking about how much he loves hard base. You'll run into him multiple times throughout your gameplay. Much like the Fallout or Metro games, you'll kind of run around grabbing everything, looting everything, carrying everything that you can because it all has a value. The times of day you're exploring these zones also change, the weather patterns and the lighting. You'll notice that some assets and buildings are very similar to other buildings, but I wasn't expecting the developers to recreate several houses that are all completely unique. Generally, Soviet architecture is basically the same because communism, but there was definitely enough variety in the placements of these buildings and how each one was decorated inside to make me feel like each time I went out into the zone, it was an adventure. You really feel immersed during your time in the zone. While not exactly scary, the game does have the occasional jump scare and these creepy as shit dolls that laugh and have glowing green eyes. It's more ominous than actually scary, but damn, those dolls are creepy. All of this expands upon that atmosphere. Chernobyl itself is split into 6 open world zones that can be explored individually. Now, these zones, in terms of scale and size, some of them are pretty big and quite densely populated with different buildings and houses and things to explore. You'll end up returning to each of these areas and exploring them on multiple occasions. You'll need to be scavenging for clues to piece together the mystery of what happened to your fiance and what the NAR soldiers are doing at the power plant. This constant changing of the environment means that each time you're exploring the open world, it's still enjoyable and felt different each time you visited the same location. The random events that would pop up all over the map would spoon feed you a little bit more information on the storyline so you could piece together exactly what's going on. In the zone, you'll encounter NAR soldiers that can be taken out stealthily or engaged in straight-up gunfights. I personally love the stealth in the game. When you level up at your base, you can make your skills like stealth even better, from reduced noise to better camouflage. It was honestly my favorite part about the game, to try to stealthily approach the level and take out everyone without anyone knowing that I was there, but it is possible to take on enemies straight on with your pistol or your AK or your shotgun, all of which are completely customizable. The depth of the weapon customization is very well done, and you can make the weapons cater to your preferred playstyle. The AI, however, is a little stupid. There's a lot of ways that you can sort of exploit the AI and their stupidity, which makes the game easier than it should be, and a lot less punishing if you actually fail in your stealth. They really do nothing to make their situations more advantageous to them. Overall, I think that the AI is a little bit of a letdown, but if you enjoy stealth combat, you should still find immense pleasure in the stealth in Chernobylite. The other combat that you experience is mainly against the mutants. The mutants can be a lot more threatening and generally require much more thinking in combat. If you get caught without adequate supplies, you die easily. So I've talked about all this, but I haven't talked about one thing, and that one thing is if I would recommend the game. Well, I definitely would. In fact, I highly recommend the game. Chernobylite is not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, it has quite a few flaws, but the environment and the narrative make the game a must play, in my opinion. The game is extremely compelling. Chernobylite is currently selling for $30 at the time of recording. For $30, you can get a much higher quality game than most $70 brand new releases. This game might not suit everyone, but I certainly enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed the video, again, please leave a like. It does help the channel out a ton. Please subscribe as well, turn on post notifications, all of that good shit. But as always, guys, this has been your boy Drinker, and I am out of here. Peace.